You've heard people say, "Without us, this place stops." Workers say it today. They say it in protests. They say it in negotiations. But who said it first? The answer is carved into a piece of papyrus. It's over 3,000 years old, and it changes everything you think about the relationship between workers and power. The year is roughly 1155 BC. Egypt is one of the most powerful empires on earth. The pharaoh is Ramesses III. His name is on temples. His armies have stopped invasions. And yet, a small group of workers is about to do something no one has ever done before. They are going to stop working, on purpose, as a group, until someone listens. This is the story of the first recorded strike in history, not in a modern city, not in a factory, in the desert, 3,000 years ago. And the reason they stopped, it wasn't ideology, it wasn't politics, they were hungry. Deir el-Medina was not a normal village. It sat at the entrance of the Valley of the Kings, near Thebes, in what is now Luxor, Egypt. The people who lived there were not farmers or merchants. They were specialists, stonecutters, painters, scribes. Their job was to build and decorate the royal tombs, the tombs where pharaohs would rest forever. This was sacred work, secret work. The workers and their families lived inside a walled community. They could not simply leave. The Egyptian state owned their time, and in exchange, the state fed them. Every month, each worker received a ration of grain, emmer wheat and barley, enough to make bread and beer. This was their salary, not coins, not paper, food. For most of their history, the system worked. Workers built tombs. The state delivered grain. The pharaoh was glorified. Everyone had their role. But in the 29th year of Ramesses III's reign, something changed. The grain stopped arriving on time. First, it was a few days late, then a week, then more. A scribe named Amenecht recorded what happened next. He wrote it all down on a papyrus scroll. That scroll still exists today. It sits in a museum in Turin, Italy. It is called the Turin Strike Papyrus, and it is the oldest record of organized labor action in human history. Here is what most people don't know. The workers did not riot. They did not destroy anything. They did not attack anyone. They walked out, and they sat down. That was the weapon. Presence without work. Refusal without violence. In the 7th month of that year, the workers had waited long enough. They put down their tools. They walked out of the necropolis together. Their supervisors had never seen this before. The papyrus says the supervisors did not even know where the workers had gone. The workers marched to the local government offices. They demanded their grain. The officials agreed with them. The delay was wrong, but they had no grain to give. So the workers moved to a more powerful location. They sat down at the entrance of the mortuary temple of Ramesses III himself, the most sacred place nearby. In full view of everyone, their message was simple. We are hungry. We will not move until you feed us. The action worked. Grain was eventually released from the temple stores, but it was a temporary solution. The rations were late again the following month, and the month after that. The workers struck again, and again. The papyrus records multiple episodes, multiple negotiations, workers going to different temples, different officials, escalating their demands each time. At one point, they marched directly to the office of the vizier, the second most powerful person in Egypt, just below the pharaoh. They were not afraid. They knew something important. They were irreplaceable. The royal tombs could not be built without them. The work required years of training. These were not people who could be quickly replaced. That knowledge gave them power, and they used it. Here is the principle these workers discovered. without a word of theory or philosophy. Power is not only held from above, it also flows from below. When you control something that others cannot replace, your skill, your knowledge, your labor, you have leverage. Even against the most powerful institutions in the world, the workers of Deir el-Medina did not have weapons. They did not have wealth. They did not have political connections. They had one thing, the ability to stop, and stopping was enough. Every labor negotiation since then, every union contract, every workers' rights law, every workplace protection, traces its logic back to this moment. The next time you see workers go on strike, in a news headline, in your city, anywhere in the world, you are watching the same logic, same calculation, same leverage, same refusal. The specific demands change, the industries change, the countries change, but the underlying move, it was written down 3,000 years ago, on a papyrus scroll, in a village that no longer exists. The playbook is older than you think. Every system you live inside today, the way work is paid, the way disputes are settled, the way power is contested, has an origin. Most of those origins are older than you think. If that interests you, subscribe. There is more where this came from. I'll see you next time.